think it's possible that we've allowed culture to influence us, and we think that loving them like Jesus is not challenging them and telling them the actual gospel. Like in a weird way, it's like modern world, right? Well, we got to accept them for who they are, so let's just love them through it. When like, the Bible says, how are they going to know if people don't tell them? And how are people going to tell them if no one goes and tells them? Like, we have to tell people about Jesus. Tell them, and quit worrying about whether or not they look at us weird. Quit worrying about if they get offended. If someone gets offended because we tell them about Jesus, that's not on you. That's not on us. Our job is to tell them. And I'm going to tell you right now, dude, I'm going to challenge all of us. Do you even know, if you're listening, do you even know, like, do you ever tell anyone about Jesus? I look at the Gospels, and I think of the Samaritan woman. I think of the man he healed, the leper, and the lame guy, the blind guy.
Yeah.
Every single one of them, first thing they wanted to do was go tell everyone. And a lot of times Jesus said, not yet, don't go yet. Do you? Do I? They didn't just go love them, run up and give them a hug. No, they told them, there is a man who healed me. Do you tell them? Do we tell them? Man. And I think over time, man, whoever wrote this question, it's a really good way to say it. They said it's written on your heart. So let's assume that's true. We know we're called to do that, and we're never doing it. We're never going to feel comfortable, and then we lose the fire because we're not stoking it. So I'll tell you this. This is weird. I did not write this question, but I got convicted about this myself last week or the week before, and I preach. And I love telling people, I love preaching the gospel.
Yeah.
But man, when I think about the fact, we get invited to this pastor's breakfast sometimes. We haven't gone yet, but we've gotten invited. And I was thinking about what I would do if I came, because the last time they brought up like talking about my testimony. And one of the things I wanted to talk about, okay? So I was saved at a little weird, I could say corny because I think a lot of people think it's corny. A play, one of those plays churches put on, right? The low budget plays.
Yeah.
Heaven's Gates, Hell's Flames, and that led to my salvation. And if somebody in that church had decided, I actually thought of this on prepping for the sermon, and said, I don't feel like doing this. I'm too stressed to show up that day, or I don't want to do it. What if the guy that played Jesus in that play decided not to come that day, and they didn't have a Jesus and they couldn't do it? Because that's what had me hear the gospel. Is at the end of it, it prepared my heart to hear it. And, yeah, man, what helps me is to remember, for me personally, like I literally could have died and gone to hell. I also like to tell myself, one of the ways I stoke a fire is if I knew someone who had cancer, and I literally in my pocket had the cure to cancer. And everybody's like, oh, it's not. No, I want you to think about that. If you're listening today and you're a Christian, I want you to consider this for a second. A dear friend of yours, you had cancer, you were cured of it. You have the cure in your hand. It's a pill, shot, whatever. You have a whole bag of it, unlimited supply. And you don't want to tell your neighbor or your sister or your brother, your mom and dad. Would you not tell them about it? And yet, you wouldn't just come up and love them and say, and hope they ask you if you have the cure. Hey, I love you so much. I can't wait till they notice I'm different and ask me how I'm cured. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they do go, well, you're healthy.
Sometimes they do.
But sometimes they need to know. And so that always helps me. The people that don't know Jesus, without Jesus Christ, we are dead. They're dying.